Okay, welcome everybody. We'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. and I will start by reading the meeting decorum statement. The select board meetings are open business meetings for the duly elected members to facilitate town business. Members of the public are not only allowed but encouraged to attend. During meetings, the board and, when called upon, members of the public will engage in civil discussion of town matters. Personal comments are not welcome and personal attacks will not be allowed. It is our sincere hope that we can all conduct town business in a professional and kind manner. We'll move on to the minutes for January 27th. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second, have you folks read the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, additions and deletions. We don't have any that I'm aware of. And members of the public, we have a group of people here. Are there any issues that aren't attended to in later items on the agenda that you would like to speak to now? No? Okay, then we'll move on. Correspondence. I don't believe we have any direct correspondence. We'll go on to the warrants.
Make a motion to pay the warrants, starting with number 1, payroll, in the amount of $16,584.86. Number 2, payroll tax, in the amount of $7,004.20. Number 3, general fund, in the amount of $2,170.33. Number 4, general fund, in the amount of $27,675. Number 5, general fund, in the amount of $97.36. Number 6, highway fund, in the amount of $610.25. And number 7, highway fund, in the amount of $43,934.84.
Second.
Okay, and any discussion, folks? No? All those in favor of accepting the warrants?
Aye.
Opposed? And Katie abstained. So then we will move on to highway. Jeremy?
I guess the big thing is the salt shortage that we're experiencing right now. I've been in contact with the 3 suppliers that supply this area and nobody has salt right now. So I know the state has loosened up on getting their deliveries for the towns to get it, but as of right now, I cannot find it. We're doing
So
best.
basically the situation is we've ordered the salt, we just can't get delivery. So
Correct.
we did what we needed to do at the beginning of the year to receive the
Correct.
salt, but the salt isn't there to fulfill our order.
Correct.
Okay.
And how's your sand supply?
Sand's great, we got no issues there, so plenty of that.
It's just it freezes up, right?
It's been so cold, we've been having trouble getting it out of the truck, so.
Well, thank you for everything you do. And treasurer, let's see. Where did that go? Where is the treasurer one?
Oh, it's in the warrant.
Just gonna tell you how much money we have in the bank when I can find it. We have $30,000 in our swing account, and we have $602,491.92 and in our regular account, and then we have the 5 CDs that the treasurer always supplies for us. So, and then we go on to town clerk for the second 2 weeks in January. We brought in $1,526.00. And basically look at last week's minutes for those people. Welcome, everybody. Then we have the chair's report. We have a budget status report up here that is available to the public if they choose to see it. We run it every month, and it tells us how on target we are to each of our expenses. And, for instance, we were just looking at the highway, and the wages for the highway are 2% over, but it's during the winter, so that's like actually a good over percentage for the winter, because usually it's much more over than that. So it's how we keep a guideline on where we need to be hyper-focused. Okay, our grant coordinator will report next meeting, always the second meeting of the month. Old business, NEMRC contract for the appraisal. We mentioned this last.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I thought we mentioned this last month, last meeting rather, and we were told, or we decided to pull it off until this month so people could digest what it meant. Helen is here somewhere. Yeah, there you are back there, Helen. Would you like her to speak to us again about the NEMRC reappraisal agreement?
I just think it's pretty expensive.
Can you talk to the expense, Helen, and how it would compare
I
to?
think it comes out to 100 or 125 per parcel, which is average for the state. 2031 is the earliest we've been able to get one. We only got one response this time. Last time I sent out the request, I got two denials. This time I only got one response, but at least it was one. And we've been requested, mandated by the state Department of Taxes to do the reappraisal.
Helen, did you work with Brookline on their recent?
I did.
So how does this compare with, did they also use
The
NEMRC?
price is pretty much the same. They're a
is.
smaller town, so it costs less.
Right,
But yeah, I mean, they
but the price per
have
parcel.
not jacked the prices up.
Okay.
And this is probably the last one that'll be done like this because the legislature passed Act whatever it is, and so now they're gonna do regional assessment districts.
Okay.
So-
Would it behoove us to hold off and wait for
No.
that change?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We are way, way past.
What happens when we're past due?
People are not getting taxed at the fair market value,
Right.
Okay,
so everybody's is out of whack.
okay.
Right.
And it affects, it can affect the selling price, not drastically, because things will usually sell for what they're worth, no matter what they're listed as. But it does affect things. Our CLA is like 58% right now. Which means
Common
we're at
level
half.
of appraisal, right?
Right, which means that basically every parcel on the grand list is estimated to be at half value.
Yeah.
Some of them are a lot more than that, some of them a lot less, but
Half value.
that's the average.
So, does the board have any questions?
And when was our last reappraisal?
2012?
Okay. Spent some time. Make a
So,
motion to approve the contract with NEMRC for the townwide reappraisal.
okay, a second?
Second.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unfortunately,
Me too.
So it's 3 ayes?
4.
Who was the fourth?
Weren't you?
I said aye. Aye.
Aye.
Did you?
Yeah, the 4 of us.
Kind of have to do it.
Right.
Okay.
You have to do it, but-
Those opposed?
just stinks.
Abstentions? Katie, did you vote?
I voted yes.
Okay.
So
Okay, so it's 5. That's
Five.
5. Yeah, begrudgingly, we're 5.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, where are we? State Animal Control Form. This is basically, I think it's 5 people signing this form, right? Okay, it's just something that we all have to sign before we go, and
I think Warren has reviewed it.
And basically Warren said it's a form that we fill out every year that gives him the teeth to be able to deal with naughty dogs.
Yep.
And we will do that.
So you have to.
Make a motion?
Make a motion to sign the state animal control agreement?
Second.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so I think we have 5.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, did we already pass number 4, members of the public?
Yes, yes.
You'd
like to revisit
I
that?
think there's a number of people who were expecting
We
to
did it
say
right at the beginning.
We
Yeah.
did it at the beginning, we
it was
approved
slower
it.
because of the snow. So,
Well,
yeah.
That's okay, and what I said, Ty, during the members of the public, I said, and if it was about something that was down below, we could revisit it then. So I don't know if it's, no? So, how
We
would
have to
we,
take a motion to go out.
can I hear a motion to go out of order and go back to members of the public?
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, go ahead, Ty.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know how to do this specifically, but can I submit a letter for the minutes or for record?
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to read it to us?
I would like to,
Okay.
yeah.
I think you submit it to the select board and then they decide.
Oh, okay.
Either at this meeting or the next meeting, whether or not to take it into record.
We've done either. I know Laura
Both
read
of those
letters.
options
to
are-
Oh, that's
members of the
right.
public.
If I can read it, that would
Okay.
be
Okay.
nice. So, yeah. This is in response to this is my gratitude to you, Select Board, for taking all my questions last meeting. My name is Tyler Burns. I've been a Townshend resident and homeowner here for 6 years. First, I'd like to thank the Select Board for their collective leadership. It is heartwarming to see a group of citizens with different backgrounds, strengths, and experiences working together for the collective interest of Townshend town residents. You are a positive example of representative democracy, putting the concerns of the town over your own and using your democratically elected positions to keep Townshend a safe, free, and pleasant place to live. In particular, thank you to the Select Board and Highway Committee for adhering to the auditor's recommendations and delivering over a $90,000 surplus in the highway budget this year, even after an unexpected but necessary lease of large equipment. Thank you for keeping a keen eye on our aging equipment and planning for the future while preserving the infrastructure we already have. Furthermore, I am incredibly pleased that despite over $1 million budgeted for roads in 2026, the budget you proposed, if I understand correctly, is only asking us for $700,000 this year. This is an incredible savings to us taxpayers and is only possible through your diligence. I also want to specifically thank the highway foreman, Jeremy Zombreski. Is that how to say his name?
Yes.
You here, Jeremy? Yeah, hey, thanks. For you and your crew's tireless efforts keeping our roads, specifically Windham Hill, where I live, safe to drive.
It's been a struggle.
I imagine, yeah. I understand you have salt shortages? Yeah. Let me know if you accept baked goods as. Okay, sweet. Next, I extend thanks to the Select Board, the Planning Commission, and others for preserving and improving our town hall. Your partnership with the Preservation Trust of Vermont, Vermont Division for Historic Preservation on ADA accessibility, slate roof repairs, and keeping an eye on an upcoming grant that could help repair the windows upstairs, ensures the town hall remains a suitable building for town offices and community use. Your approach to town hall preservation and improvement shows us that you are making the necessary steps to use the money and resources available to allow this unique building to remain a centerpiece of Townshend. Specifically, I want to thank Select Board person Katie Merrow. You're an outstanding model of a dedicated public servant, Select Board member, town employee, and of course, a mother. Through your grant writing position, you have secured $277,946 in grants in 2 years, $266,000 in grant monies for projects in 2026. You have remained transparent and open about your grant writing work, and you have your eye on many more thousands of dollars in necessary grants to improve our roads, town hall, and other important aspects of our community. Finally, to my fellow Townshend residents, thank you for your commitment to civil discourse, curiosity, trust in one another, belief in our democratic process. As I watch what is happening on a national level, I feel so inundated with leadership and interest groups that are intent on using coercion, bullying, litigation, and deception campaigns to further undemocratic agendas. But what I see in the residents of Townshend is the work and participation of respectable townspeople and the hardworking leaders we voted on to represent us on the select board, working together to make our town great. I breathe a breath of fresh air to be part of a community that values collective good, transparency, and democracy. It is through all of us working together with trust that our town thrives. Lastly, at town meeting on March 3rd, I look forward to joining my fellow Townshend residents to re-elect and support each and every one of you on the select board. Thank you for your commitment to serving your fellow neighbors, operating in a fiscally responsible manner, and working towards preserving and strengthening the true spirit of Townshend. Thank you.
Thank you. Will you give us a copy of that for the record?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job, Ty.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
It's about you all.
Well, it feels good.
Allie, may I also?
Sure. You're just your name for the record.
Caitlin Mays.
All right.
So, mine is a little different. So, I'm here to voice my concern for Article 16 from the warning for town meeting again. Not only am I concerned about the redundancy of this proposal to create a gratuitous town hall restoration fund beyond the $50K that's already earmarked for this purpose, I'm also concerned that the verbiage of that article implies that this $25,000 of capital allows it to be taxed every year thereafter, putting us a greater tax burden on the 500 households that make up this town. If we were to raise $25K for our town, we could, I think all of us here, think of more meaningful and impactful ways to benefit our residents and the people who live and work here every day. Because for those of us earning our living here, the importance of our safety as we travel through extreme weather right now on our rural roads can't be overstated. Our roads are the lifeblood of our community and the highest priority and must take precedence over any kind of beautification and concern for optics or aesthetics. I also think that our aging community deserves a town hall that supports their participation in this direct democracy by making this building fully ADA compliant before we entertain higher tax rates for superficial projects. And for those of us living with the consequences of a lack of road maintenance or access to public services, raising taxes so a beautification committee can gain funds for vanity's sake is a shallow and laughable concern to me. And I find it the surprisingly aggressive way with which the Friends of Townshend Town Hall and Opera House has been politicking online to be more than a little suspicious. The push to take this self-described friendly volunteer organization to an official nonprofit status before gaining your approval to be an official town committee seems oddly excessive, especially so when this historical preservation of this building has been amply provided for, as evident by the restoration of the slate roof that was finished last year, right? So, sitting here, unable to fathom what would motivate the need to have a group raising such a large amount of money for such a trivial purpose, I did more research and I found out that there's a major $1 million grant opportunity called the Village Trust Initiative, awarded only if the historical restoration is spearheaded and executed by a third-party nonprofit. That not only requires this municipality to raise matching funds, exorbitant ones at that, but it also requires alarmingly to cede ownership of the building to the nonprofit doing the restoration work. So the confluence of this online politicking plus the circulation of these yellow pamphlets, I don't know if any of you have seen, that are defaming all of you, the work that you've done, and your employees, all centered around grants that are suddenly and vociferously being demanded by this committee for frivolous and aesthetic concerns seems a little too convenient for coincidence to me. I'm at a loss for how to interpret these ideas in a better light than I'm laying out here. And at the very least, I believe that our select board and its employees should consider taking whatever action necessary to protect the rights of this voting body against this kind of manipulation. This looks worryingly to me like an attempt to wrest power, control, and taxpayer dollars away from our democratically elected town governments and place it instead at the whim of an unelected, non-voting outsider party with a disappointingly obvious intent to thwart our due process of our town's direct democracy. Fortunately, my neighbors and I are well practiced at pooling our power together to protect ourselves, and we know that as a collective, we can't be intimidated, and our strength lies in our strong community bonds. My neighbors are capable, impressively multi-skilled, generous people, and they are not, by and large, people of great financial means. We residents here, eking out a living, know that it requires hard work, serious practicality, and skillful vigilance to support our community's unique needs with Spartan resources. My vote for all of you on the select board reflects my faith that you represent that spirit of our community and its best interests, values, and priorities. I live here because I believe in our collective commitment to participatory governance, and I strongly urge you to take any steps necessary to prevent any erosion of our rights to stewardship of our assets or our rights to self-government to any private, non-resident group.
Thank you. Nick and then Laura.
Thank you, Kate, for sharing your opinions. I will not comment or speculate on kind of these other potential intentions. What I do just want to clarify that you brought up early on in your statement about if this could end up being a revolving expense that we are all getting sucked into. I just want to say very clearly that is not something that could happen if this gets voted and approved at town meeting. This is something that can only be done every year. It has to be requested. So I just want to make that very clear if that is a concern for any others.
And it's up for a vote.
And it's up for a vote from all of us, right?
Everyone.
Amy, Laura had her hand up, then you. Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to address all of the things that you brought up, but I would like to say I've been in the habit of coming to select board meetings almost every meeting. I haven't seen most of you here, but that's beside the point. Cory approached the select board quite a long time ago and presented them with all of his plans, and they okayed it. He was very diligent about making sure everyone knew what he was doing. His group is not non-residents, a majority
He's
of
a
them.
non-resident.
Well, let's not have a discourse here.
His group, the group of people that are helping him, are residents that have volunteered their time. In fact, a few of them are here in this room right now. This man is doing this because he cares about this building. This building has not been being maintained the way it should be. It's got nothing to do with making it aesthetics or anything else. It's actually, needs like structural things done to it to stop it from becoming to the point that it's not going to be fixable. The planning commission has been working on trying to get the ADA compliance going for 2 years and has been having nothing but trouble getting their they try to get the money and they try to get it started, but they have to work through the select board and oftentimes it's delayed. So last I knew, they were actually going to try to get those doors done. Whether or not that's happened or not, I don't know.
Well,
But
I
they've
have
been
information
struggling.
about the doors, but it's not the
So they've
time
been
for it.
struggling really hard to try to get this ADA stuff going. It's been an uphill battle all the way. I mean, a lot of the things that you've been addressing have been brought up numerous times during select board meetings.
Is it appropriate that there's this
They
discourse
shouldn't be
happening?
going
Yeah,
back
this
and
isn't
forth.
appropriate.
Okay,
So
well,
we're gonna move on to Amy, thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone. I first just want to say that I really appreciate both what Kate and Ty have said. I really agree with all of it. I also, for anyone who does not know me, I was a resident of Townsend for nearly 10 years. I moved to Brookline last year, but I maintain an office in Townsend as a therapist, and I feel very connected to and invested in this town and community, which includes my friends, family, and clients. I have a background in both individual and community-focused human services, as well as experience working in nonprofits, agriculture, and contracting, all of which have taken place in and around the Townsend community. And I am here to voice my concerns that a non-resident private citizen is attempting to assert undue influence on the workings of the town, as well as harassing members of the select board. I believe this person is acting in bad faith and attempting to sow doubt of local government at a time when civic engagement on a town level is extremely key. As a lifelong Vermonter growing up in a town made up largely of second homeowners very near a ski area, I have mixed feelings about people moving to a town and immediately beginning to get involved in local governance and politics. While I really appreciate truly anyone working to make their town and community better, I find that often these folks have not taken the time to truly understand the workings of small town life and often realize these town jobs, boards, and committees are difficult and sometimes thankless work and then abandon their efforts. I've seen this over and over as both my parents were and are very involved in their town, small government, and civic life, serving on many boards, like many of the people here. I see this energy in the way a private citizen has taken actions against town employees and members of the select board. I don't have to tell you all how hard a job it is to keep a small town running, address public concerns, and build a budget that provides for both short and long-term needs while keeping the tax burden as small as possible. Someone who is not a full-time resident should not be so heavily influencing these day-to-day workings of town life. Additionally, the hostility towards all of you, but especially towards the concept of grants, the grant coordinator, and all of the good work she has done seem completely short-sighted to me. In my experience, finding grants and applying for them is a time-consuming job. There are so many different grants for many purposes out there, and a huge barrier to them being appropriately utilized is often just a lack of awareness about what is offered and available. I was so happy to see that the town of Townsend created a grant coordinator position, and I feel that the current grant coordinator has done a fantastic job, despite some pushback from people who seem to misunderstand how grants work and where the money actually is coming from. Grants are a wonderful way to enhance the town's ability to fund projects that benefit the public. I wish the town of Brookline, where I now live, had a designated grant program like Townsend does for projects such as our historic church, which, unlike this building, is not functional and usable to its full extent year-round. As we face increasingly volatile political climates on a federal level, it is important that we need to be continuing our commitment to our local civic life. These jobs are an extremely important part of building resilient and connected communities. I applaud this person who is getting involved in the local community, but I strongly advise members of the town government and the public to examine what the motives are and make sure that the town does not end up losing out on resources and opportunities because of one individual's actions and interests. Thank you for your time and attention in this matter.
Thanks, Amy. All right. If there's nothing else, then we will move on.
yeah, you're gonna ask another question?
I think you already had your moment. I don't want it to get to be a back and,
Limited times now, and
I don't want it to get to be a back and forth that he's,
it's not gonna be a back and forth. I'm just wondering why people feel that this Cory has attacked Katie.
that's a question, it's not a statement. I don't want a back and forth.
Okay.
So, we're gonna move on to the treasurer transition plan. It's in the packet right here. You could speak to it, yes.
I think at a select board meeting, a couple of select board meetings ago, the select board created a treasurer transition team to work on the transition. The cover page to the packet documents sort of lays out where we're at in this stage of the transition and preparing for the transition. There are 7 things that I think the select board needs to be engaged with and to confirm or decide. And I'd like to go through those and just ask if there's questions and to see whether or not we can take action on them tonight. One of which we really do need to do, but the others may be able to wait to the next meeting. The first one is confirming the treasurer's job description. So it is not a job description that was just made up. It basically just states what the statutory requirements are of a treasurer, but it's putting it in writing so that at town meeting, if people want to talk about what the duties are, that we have something that we can articulate to the residents. So if there's any questions about that, we can discuss any. Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. It's not tax. It's about tax collection.
Okay.
Last year we had talked about in the current position, the treasurer has an assistant and the responsibilities can be delegated. Is that a similar setup, like in terms of tax collection? If
Yes.
the treasurer, would they be able to delegate that to the bookkeeper, or would
Yes.
they be totally separate?
So I don't think that element of the treasurer's position is changing. And we confirmed that last year at town meeting, where we confirmed that the treasurer is the tax collector in the eyes of the state. Who actually collects the taxes can be delegated to somebody else, but in the eyes of the state, the treasurer is the tax collector. And you'll see when we get to the job description of the bookkeeper that if the structure that is being proposed and budgeted for at town meeting passes, then that bookkeeper's job becomes relevant in its duties. Any other questions? Before we make any of this public, I guess it would be helpful just to get the okay from the board that this is something that you agree with and that can be issued or put out at town meeting.
And people may ask before town meeting, if somebody's interested in running for the treasurer position, which is a smaller position than current, they might come and say, we'd like to see what you're thinking.
I just want to clarify, it is a smaller position than current in our proposed structure.
Right.
That needs to be approved.
That needs to be
If that
approved.
doesn't get approved, it is still the same position as it is, but.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or it could be
Still the
any
same.
morph of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I don't know if this requires a motion or if it just requires confirmation and that we can use this treasurer's job description.
I make a motion to use the proposed treasurer job description.
Second.
And further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Katie, did you?
I said that.
Okay, everybody?
So if you go to the next thing, that is the bookkeeper's job description. So what is currently being proposed for town meeting is a robust bookkeeping position that is described here as a general description. But it should cover most all the duties and a general outline of the amount of hours and days of week, although all of that is flexible, but, for training purposes.
Well, why don't we have a motion and then we
So then
can,
we can discuss.
then we can have discussion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the bookkeeper position?
So I think we're gonna have a limited pool of potential candidates for 20 hours a week.
And I disagree with you, but that's okay, we can disagree.
That's why we're all here.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who would like to work 20 hours a week that might have kids in school and be able to do it around their family needs and still be able to help their town and earn money.
Is
So-
your concern that it's not enough
Correct.
time to be,
Correct.
yeah.
To fill the duties or to bring in respectful candidates?
Actually, both.
Well, we have a treasurer now who works 22 hours a week, I believe it is. So by dividing the two positions, we felt it was, work-wise, it was doable. And I feel that there's a lot of people that can't go out and get a 40-hour-a-week job because their family situation does not allow that and would be happy to do that. So.
Let me get arthritis.
Oh, I know that. I'm used to that by now.
What about
I
the
always-
situation where if we had something for 20 and it wasn't working out and we voted to increase it by 5 or whatever it would take to get the job done? Is that something that needs to go to town vote or is it something that we could vote on our own?
It would be a
Or is
town
it something that
meeting.
we could bring it from 20 to 25 hours a week or 28 hours a week? Or
Well, we'd be deficit spending then, right?
You had to find money elsewhere, but
Right.
I think that the structure that we are proposing would allow the select board to play with the hours if needed. I don't think that it's,
That's something we're able to do as
Yeah.
managing
yeah.
town employees, right?
Are the training hours that are embedded in the budget, are those all spoken for in terms of NEMRC?
NEMRC has 2 contracts, right? One's a $10,000 one and one is a payroll
Which we'll
one.
get to in a minute.
That we'll talk about, but those are kind of set in stone. If we
But they
find
do
them.
include training, so.
They train
I just
them.
mean that, like, say it was $10,000, do we expect to use that whole $10,000 for NEMRC? Or if we had a quick learner, would we use less?
Well,
Potentially.
the one thing I asked was with the payroll, for instance, if it's for a year, $5,000, and if we had what you call a quick learner, could we do it for 6 months? And then maybe we could take that 2,500 and move
I
it
think
elsewhere.
fundamentally, the money is earmarked for NEMRC, which does include training, but it is earmarked for NEMRC.
Yeah, I
don't
guess
see
that
how-
was my question, is it NEMRC only or is it training?
Well,
The label.
They're-
label.
It's labeled training. It's a contract with NEMRC.
Okay.
That we haven't
That
entered
answers my
into
question.
yet, but, so we still can
Question.
think about that,
Yeah.
That's next on the,
so. Do we want to wait on approving this?
I think we should wait.
I think we can, right? We can't post this until
We can't post it.
structure gets approved at town meeting.
The
So
the only advantage to approving it would be if somebody came in and said, I hear you're gonna have a bookkeeper job, what would it entail? Then we could show them a piece of paper that if, after town meeting, the taxpayers approved this model, this is what the job would look like. That's the advantage.
I don't think what's being discussed is the duties, it's the number of hours and how to fund it. But if somebody asks the nature of the bookkeeper's job, I think I'm hearing that the select board agrees with the duties.
Yes.
So, do we wanna vote on it, or do we want to
Do you wanna wait on it?
wait?
I wanna wait.
take
So,
that.
so all those in favor will all say no and we'll wait.
You just table it.
Yeah, table it, okay. Even though we have a motion on the board.
We gotta
Okay,
vote on it though.
huh?
There's a
Gotta
motion.
be a motion on the floor, don't
That's what I thought.
We have
You have to amend the
We can't-
motion.
We can't table it.
we? We have to vote.
We have
Table it.
this,
You would amend to table it and then vote on the table. Or you would just
So,
vote no to the whole thing and not table it.
so the motion has to be in a positive, and then we can defeat it.
so the motion fails
Yes.
and then we make a second
You have to
motion.
vote to fail. Just
Okay.
be clear to
All
take
those
the
in
vote.
favor of this, all those in favor of the first motion, everybody's gonna say no, right?
Correct.
So we've got 5 no's.
Did we have a vote though to show the 5 members?
Ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Those
So,
were yeses.
no, that doesn't make any
Those were
sense.
yeses.
No.
I still voted yes.
I'm voting no.
You have to vote nay if you want to.
Nay.
Can you just do that one more time?
I don't know if I can do it one
All
more
those in
time.
favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
He says aye, I say nay.
What's the motion?
Yeah,
The original motion to
To
approve
approve
the
the-
job description as printed for the bookkeeper.
so can you call
Nay.
the vote?
Nay.
Nay.
We call the vote.
Now we're doing nay.
1-4.
Okay,
It's
1-4.
1-4.
Okay.
And I'm voting nay in the sense, in this, it's included the 20 hours.
Right.
I'm not worried about the description, it's the hourly price.
Okay. And then we need a second motion.
4.
I don't know.
No, no.
To table it?
No.
Okay.
It would have just been an amendment to table it. but
Okay.
we just killed it this way.
Okay. Where are we now?
Transition plan.
Treasurer transition
So,
plan.
the next item is the lengthy outline on the transition plan. And, this one has been modified from the one that was presented last week. The transition team has, worked on this, they've met with NEMRC, they've met with the current treasurer, and have modified and put together this plan. I don't think that you need a vote on it, but I do think that you need to read it and understand it, ask any questions. There is a couple things that will have to be voted on, but what's more important is for you to take a look at this and ask any questions you have on it. It's been a lot of work and some intense conversations, and I think it's a good plan that has come out of that.
So I'm seeing this for the first time and I'm reading it very quickly. So am I seeing that Anita will stay on as tax collector?
That's one of the things that you're deciding tonight.
And it's still a discussion that needs to happen with Anita. We don't even know if she wants to, but that is just
Well,
something to.
Well, we do know.
Well, when
We
we get
do.
to that, yeah.
Okay.
It's an appointed position, correct?
Hmm?
Is it an appointed position by the select board that you're talking about?
A hired
It's a hired
person.
position. At this point, she's an assistant to the treasurer who does the tax collection. And she also does book account reconciliations every month, but she's no longer willing to do that. So.
So if there's no questions, I would keep this page in front of you as we begin to discuss the few other things. And I will start with payroll, I believe it is.
The number of contracts.
The transition team is recommending that we enter into a contract with NEMRC for $5,000 initially to do payroll. It is a 12-month contract to do payroll. However, it does include some transitioning training to whoever is going to be responsible for payroll. And if they get up and running prior to 12 months, NEMRC has said that they are flexible in prorating the contract. But the idea would be to have NEMRC do payroll in the immediate transition and after the new person is hired or elected, to do payroll and to assist in getting them up and running.
And it's more than just cutting a check. It's entering it into the accounting system. It's paying all the state and federal taxes and the end of the year forms that happen. So it's a little more complicated than just cutting a check for, rectifying. It keeps track of sick days and vacation days, which can be kind of cumbersome for somebody new. So.
Can I ask Helen a question?
Yeah.
Hi. So I know it says that I engaged with this, but I didn't get to go to that meeting. Did Brookline have any,
We haven't met with them.
oh, no? Did you meet with Brookline to talk about how they've dealt with transition? Okay. Oh,
So that
I
is,
wanna-
that is still something that the transition team wants to do. NEMRC did point out that they have a different system than Townshend does, so we should keep that in mind, but
Okay.
that conversation hasn't happened yet.
Okay, go ahead. So you were saying payroll and everything that it.
Well, that is one decision that we need to make, because NEMRC needs to know sooner rather than
So we
later.
wanna
'cause
vote on payroll and the two separately?
Yes.
Payroll is a
They're two
separate
different
vote.
contracts.
Okay.
I make a motion to enter into a contract with NEMRC for payroll processing for $5,000 annually.
Starting
Second.
after, starting at March.
Yeah, it's an awkward,
It would be starting in March.
it's an awkward bookkeeping system because it starts in March and the
Budget
new year
doesn't come
doesn't
till-
start until July 1st, but that's the way towns are set up.
If there wasn't,
Risk second.
well, third.
All right, any further discussion?
I'm not sure because I feel like, I don't know, I would wanna talk to another town to find out if we're doing too much or not enough or,
I think that the
Yeah.
transition team feels very comfortable having talked with NEMRC. And the other option was to have Elaine stay on and do payroll, since she knows how to do payroll. And so the transition team, I think, recommends and feels comfortable with NEMRC.
And we did that
Stepping in.
math that it was the same amount of money.
How many employees do you need to cover? How many employees are going into your payroll service?
About a dozen.
12?
Not,
Well,
maybe
you know, when you do like the dumb people in the
cemetery,
cemetery and, you know. there's-
library,
Trash sanitation people.
I know, we don't have a dump for a long time.
and the
I know
libraries
that.
included in that.
At $5,000 a year, divided by 12 months, about 400 and change. Divided by 12, it's about $34 to $35 per person. And if you're doing the bookkeeping and you're submitting, all the town has to do is submit the hours to the company, and they cut the checks, they make direct deposits, they do all the tax, they do all the quarterlies. That's a hell of a deal.
Thank you.
So, yes,
Can I also just counter that? I don't think it's a hell of a deal. I have 7 employees in a federal position. It takes me 8 minutes to pay everybody. And that's a weekly summary of payments. 8 minutes. So maybe you could find someone who could do it in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
If we do,
I'd have a hard time believing that.
It's
That,
completely
no,
true.
I'm sorry, not you, that we would.
That'd be
Because
fine.
we get into a situation that by the time we get done with vacation, sick time, all the other different things that go on, there's a lot more to it than just being like 40 hours, click the button, here you go.
Well,
They do that same.
I do attendance also.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that.
You know, and if I want to add an extra minute for attendance, okay. But it's not, the programs are set up where you punch in the code and then you put the hours and the employee's ID and it transfers it. It's not a very hard system. If you have a time card system or time clock system, it's even easier because that gets automatically registered into a crossover.
no, but see,
So that does all the
we
tax.
don't have all those big federal things. Our time clock simply
Right.
keeps track of time.
Okay.
I
And
think
we
it's
have,
also the
my
NEMRC
office is the same way. Mine doesn't feed directly into the system, so I have to sit there and do 7 seconds of math on someone's weekly time card and then input it into the system with the code for regular work.
But see, we don't have a
Overtime.
system.
We
So,
do.
So I'm,
But
the
you
NEMRC
do.
system.
can I ask you a question?
Whatever the
Sidebar
system
question.
looks like.
yeah.
What about all the quarterlies and all the documentation? It's pretty
Attendance
bad.
reviews, stuff like that.
No, W-2s, so when you go.
W-2s does come from a major office.
Right, so that's self-incorporated software that we as taxpayers have pay the government a lot for. I mean, I'm self-employed,
No,
I have an employee,
the
and I
W-2.
have a payroll
The
service.
W-2 I do not submit.
Right, so
But
it's one
what
more
I've
piece
given-
it's one more piece.
We're given the ability to do the W-2, I've done them in previous circumstances and they don't take that much time.
No, but it's
All I'm
again, you
arguing
gotta,
is
you
that
gotta
I'm
fish out.
gonna recognize Connie right now and not too much back and forth.
So the transition team that was formed to put together a plan to move under a tight timeline was presented with 2 options basically, which is to use the current payroll company that our current treasurer works with to get us through the immediate transition and to help us get somebody who's hired up and running. The other option that was presented to us was that Elaine, the current treasurer, has offered or has submitted a proposal to do payroll for about 7 hours a month at a particular cost. The team with those two options feel that the NEMRC option is the better one to get us through an immediate transition, because we will be in the middle of a payroll period when town meeting happens and our treasurer leaves. So it's not that we can't explore other things in the future, but to get us through this period, there's a lot that needs to be accomplished. And so the transition team is recommending NEMRC.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sorry about that.
Thanks for the clarification.
Is the current treasurer willing to train or just do the?
No.
Okay. But NEMRC would be doing the training.
Correct.
You know, dollar amount what you're currently paying for your services, other than your treasurer's time for doing it, or does she do everything?
She does it, and she makes what, 35K a year.
Well, and she engages with NEMRC quite frequently
Your
on
software
a as-need basis.
The software company that's currently doing your payroll is not NEMRC.
No, it is, but it's Elaine engaging.
Oh, I
and
thought you said
inputting.
it wasn't. I thought it said it was somebody else.
Yeah.
So any further discussion, folks? All those in favor of hiring NEMRC for payroll?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Katie, I didn't hear you.
I said aye.
I didn't hear you again.
I keep
Sorry,
looking
did
down.
Yeah, I am now, it's
Okay.
5. So, okay, then we will move on
But
to,
we now have, the next item that is being recommended by the transition team is to purchase the NEMRC cash module. What's that?
The cash receipts module.
Cash receipts module.
can you give a little definition for the group of what that is?
I'm gonna ask Helen to give a description of it.
I have not used it, but it would basically be something that records all the cash that comes in, whether it's checks or cash coming in from the town clerk, or
State of
paper,
Vermont.
state payments that come in, grant money, basically anything that gets deposited into the bank would go through the cash receipts. It helps for reporting and for bank reconciliations every month.
And it was on the auditor's recommendations as well.
Right.
My
And it ties
understanding-
into- it feeds into the general ledger
Yeah.
accounting.
My understanding is that there's, that the current town clerk was not real interested in using it, so it wasn't adopted when, last year or the year before, when the auditors recommended it. So what we also heard was that even if the clerk is not interested in using the cash module, it has benefits to it because of timing. When things come in, is what they were saying.
It's recording and reconciliation.
And when things,
It's
gets
not
recorded
handled
for
by journal
reconciliation. So there's the benefit of just having, inputting the cash, but also the reports and the timing of it. And I don't see here where I put the cost. I thought I had, but it's $1,700
It's
and
like $1,700.
it's a one-time payment of, I think, around $1,750 maybe. That includes 5 hours of training. And just to be clear, this is not in the budget for fiscal year '26. This would be an additional expense, so it is not budgeted for currently.
But we would be able to start using it.
Right,
It would be a purchase for now, not next fiscal year.
yes, if you decide to purchase it now.
so when the
I mean, you
budget,
could decide to purchase it for next year, but it's not in next year's budget either.
so when the budget was put together for July 1st, what was the surplus in the general fund?
very small, I think it was it 30?
Mhm.
30,
Right around
32, I'd have to
Yeah.
revisit
Yeah.
that. It may be in the town report actually, but it's very small.
One
Now, we
question-
generally don't spend 100% of the general fund, but with our, there are some expenses that have been recorded differently, and it's creating some lack of knowledge on that, so I would not use any of the surplus.
One point of clarity that I'd like to have with it is it says, billing will take place weekly and will be billed upon all hours expended by NEMRC personnel on town of Townshend projects. Travel time will be billed at half this hourly rate. And then it goes on to say, number 2, this will include any and all direct work by any NEMRC employee, either on-site or off-site. Does that mean that we're paying a half an hour for them to be off-site?
What that means is that we have oftentimes long telephone calls
My
about it.
point being is that a half an hour will be added to your billing for travel. And then it says, then we go on to number 2, and it says whether it's on-site or off-site. So are we getting charged a half an hour for like a Zoom call with somebody or a phone call?
We
if
are
it's-
getting
if it's
charged
off-site?
for Zoom calls,
So
yes.
can I just?
But a half an hour extra on top of the actual, like if they zoom in
That's a
and come in at
separate bill,
10,
just so you guys know.
Yes.
are they charging from 9:30 to
I
then?
don't know that.
That's a
Well,
really
point
good
of
question,
clarity.
we can,
I mean,
point
yes.
of clarity, but that technically is not what we're voting on right now. That's not the cash module, that is the contract.
Overtime.
I was in discussion mode, so I'm looking at it and
Yeah.
discussing.
Discussion of the transition plan, or
No, the bulk purchase
Yeah.
agreement.
that's a separate vote. This is the cash module, just so you know.
Well, we can vote on this and then get on to that, right?
Yes.
So do I hear a motion for the cash module?
So
Again,
moved.
okay.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, further discussion on that?
Can you just repeat the cost?
$17.50
And that's a one-time cost.
with 5 hours of training.
Once, then we own it, or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's an annual
And now we
cost.
have it, or is that an
No,
annual?
it's a
No,
one
it's just
time.
one time for the module.
It's one-time cost. And again, you can purchase it now, you can purchase it in July. You know, there's different times, you don't have to purchase it now.
Helen, can you speak to the current system as we're doing without the cash receipts module?
It's all being done by journal entry,
Right.
which does not lend itself to recording like as easily. It doesn't feed into the general ledger. They're done manually and calculated by hand. With the cash receipts module, I mean, I've never used it, but I would assume that it's kind of like accounts payable. You put in the details, it feeds it into the general ledger, so you don't have to do the journal entries.
And Connie, do you have an idea of how much cash is moving in?
My understanding is there's not a great deal of cash,
There's not a lot of.
but it will help with the tax payments, is what I remember her saying too. Which will be a lot.
Yes.
Do you have information either if it records small time purchases, like say the town clerk was to purchase something or Jeremy's purchasing something and it puts it
That
in
would
that?
be payables, because that's money going out. It's cash
It doesn't,
receipts.
it's only
This is a
receivables?
Only receivables. We already have the payables module.
Okay.
Okay.
I would just state I would prefer this to have been budgeted for.
Yes.
In my opinion, I will probably vote no, and if we're really interested in this, I would plan to budget for it next year.
But when we say budget for it next year, we'd have to budget for it for a year from July.
Correct.
Because we've already done the money starting from July, okay.
Correct.
As long as we know what we're talking about. And my one thing is it's only as good as people are willing to use it.
Right.
So, so all those in favor of purchasing the cash modular, say aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Nay. So we have 3, 1, and I was,
I'm gonna abstain because I don't know.
okay. So we have 1 get it, 3 don't get it,
Yep.
and 1 abstain.
Now we get to what Rob was raising, which is the contract with NEMRC. Basically, it's a training and assistant contract.
Utopia or Europa.
Right.
I'm sorry?
I said, we're gonna have enough stuff with NEMRC that it's gonna be another Europa, where we've got charges across the board. I know, I already
Well,
looked at it.
this one's a flat contract. It's a minimum of 96 hours for 12 months.
Right.
Now, the question is, can we stay within 96 hours, getting up and running? But it's 96 hours at a cost of a little over $10,000. So it is.
They usually charge $145 an hour. This is $110 an hour. If they go over 96, they'll honor the $110 instead of doing the $145.
And Allie, this is Cory. I'm going to also address Europa. That's one of the 4 items that I have for you guys tonight to talk about.
Okay.
Where the hell did this come from?
No, this is, Cory, hold on 1 second. It sounds like somebody from the public wants to speak on it, just like these people have been speaking. So should I tell Cory to go ahead? Go ahead, Cory.
No, I'm just letting you know. I got those 4 items to discuss, with the including the Europa update. So because Rob mentioned that, I'm on top of that. I can give you a report on that when the time is right.
Okay. Okay, so now we're on to a vote or
No, I think there's more
There's no
discussion.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
or maybe
I
there's
make a
no
motion
motion.
to enter
Yeah.
into the bulk time purchase agreement with NEMRC.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
I feel like with a new treasurer coming in, and the new setup happening possibly, or however that happens at town meeting, that's a week later, there would be a select board meeting. I feel like that might be the time for whatever select board that is to decide this, in my opinion.
The only thing that NEMRC has told us is that they're busy and they need to schedule and, work employment around their schedule. So they would need to know sooner rather than later, but, we can entertain what you're saying as well.
And so I just want to make sure I'm understanding what this agreement is looking for. This is us purchasing a minimum of 96 hours of support from NEMRC. Whatever technical assistance they're providing. It specifically says it's not the annual fee, and it's not the disaster recovery, maintenance agreements, offsite seminars, or other supplies that we're purchasing from them. So this is like whenever we're calling up and saying, hey, we have an issue with the system. How do we access this? Or
So you're gonna end up with a brand new bookkeeper that's gonna come to work for 20 hours a week and is not gonna understand the system. And you're gonna exhaust those hours in the first month.
Okay,
Right.
so Steve, just for argument's sake, you end up with if the townspeople vote on a treasurer, you have a brand new treasurer that doesn't know NEMRC,
That's right.
and you're still gonna need training.
That's right.
and just to say yes, and these hours are billed $35 less per hour, rather than the current billing of $145. We're saying we will, at a minimum, ask for 96 hours at $110 per hour, and they will honor that above that, right?
Oh, I get it.
Connie,
So currently, and people on the transition team can help me with this, NEMRC's not a straightforward, hey, you just pick it right up program from what I gather. It has its own challenges and learning curve. And I think it's important that whoever comes into the position has the support to learn it and to get up and running on it. And I will say, in the few discussions that I've been in on, there's a lot of record keeping, a lot of financial record keeping that we don't want to mess with and we don't want to make mistakes on. It's learnable and it doesn't necessarily take full-time job to do it every week, but
You need to know what
I
to
do think
do.
it's important that whoever takes the job or the two people who take the job have the support to learn it. Currently, the current treasurer calls on a regular basis to NEMRC. This is not just a pick up and ask a question. This is training on how to do the NEMRC financial program.
Helen has her hand up.
It's also them NEMRC doing the work for us as long as they need to, as much as they can, until we find somebody who does do the bookkeeping and or the treasurer position. Because come March 4th, if we don't have anybody here, then there's nobody to do any of the accounting. That means the payables, the payroll, the cash receipts, anything.
Well, the payroll.
And the tax collection. So they will do as much of that as they can, but NEMRC can't do the tax collection. And but they can do a lot of the journal entries and they'll do payroll kind of stuff. They'll do as much as they can, but that is not their business model.
Right.
So they'll do it, but they don't want to, it's not a long-term thing. They will do it and then once we have somebody in place, they will train them. And that's all under that same contract.
They'll assist the transition.
Right.
So, just for awareness though, this is essentially we would be going into agreement to say, yeah, we're gonna ask on average 2 hours a week from NEMRC.
It was, right.
52 weeks, 96 hours, 1.8 hours a week.
Or it's front loaded in the 6 months and then you're up and
Right,
running.
but
and
the
it's not
average,
needed.
right? Just over the weeks.
So why don't you step down as lister and become the bookkeeper?
Yeah, no issues, absolutely. But I have agreed to do the reconciliations.
Thank you for that.
With the assistance of NEMRC.
Right. All right.
Rod, to your question earlier about that half-time, I think that is only when they are coming on site. Yeah, and they're getting paid.
I'm for using all of NEMRC's services in the sense that through the years, they have never let us down as far as if we really needed something and needed an answer, they will send somebody. It might cost us some money, but yes, the service gets done. Also, when they do their work, they're guaranteeing their numbers. They're not leaving us with like, oh, this is a projected number and then it doesn't become the real number. That number is, they're kind of guaranteed to it. And it's the same as when we switched over from the volunteer auditors to the professional auditors, we ended up getting a way better product in the end. We've got solid numbers that are completely guaranteed. Not that they weren't with the volunteers, but with the professionals, if there was something wrong, they're backing up their numbers.
And they also give us better business practices on how
Yes,
to do
but also
things.
they will, and timely. And it's like it happens right off the bat. And I think NEMRC in all these different things hasn't let us down. Not that we've had them in all the different situations we have now, but in the past, they follow through.
I agree.
And then in terms of what we have in the proposed general fund budget, this would basically be what our training budget is of 10,000. Or is that a
That's for
separate?
fiscal year 27.
Correct,
Yeah.
but I mean,
That's what we're.
this is budgeted in essentially. I mean,
For
10,560.
2027.
Right.
We have to
Under our
get-
training line item.
We do have to
Right.
finish
From now
out
until then,
26.
But we thought that if the model that we proposed is
Mhm.
accepted at town meeting, we have a little bit of money in the salary to pay for it from March
Mhm.
until July. Did you have something or you just scratching?
No, I just put my hand on
Okay.
It is confirmed.
Any further discussion? Can you remind me of the motion on the floor, please?
The motion is to approve the bulk contract with NEMRC.
So, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposition, okay. You guys have it.
Okay, so I think we are on the last two things that we have to decide. Just on this one particular.
You're not doing this, Steve.
The tax administration, so we have two more collections, tax collection periods for fiscal year 26. We have one in February, which will be handled by Anita and Elaine. That includes also sending out the the interest note letters. I'm not getting the name right, but there's a set of letters that will go out in February as well. That is taken care of. The question is about May's collection, which is the final collection for fiscal year 26. Anita has said that she is willing to stay on and do the tax administration through the end of fiscal year 26. She would request having a second person assist her on that because she believes it's a two-person job. And honestly, it would be a form of training of that second person for them to work with her for the remainder of fiscal year 26. So she has offered to do that portion of her job. She's not willing to do the other portion of her job, which is the reconciliation. So the question in front of the board is, do we continue to employ Anita to do tax administration with another person, whoever we decide that person to be, or the new treasurer decides that, for the remainder of fiscal year 26, or do we have somebody else do the tax administration?
May I add to that Helen is sitting in with Anita for this February collection.
No, for reconciliation.
That's for the bank
Has
records.
Nothing to do with taxes?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So this is having the current tax collector or
The
current
assistant,
treasurer's assistant.
yeah.
Finance office assistant.
Well, it depends on what the voters vote at town meeting, right? But
Yeah.
You smell smoke? I just want a cigar, I guess. I'd make a motion that we retain Anita for the remaining tax collections for fiscal year 26.
Second.
Discussion. I would like to discuss, are there any other options? Could we have?
Don't make it personal. This is strictly business.
Are you accusing me of something?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, well, don't do that in a meeting, please.
Okay? Then don't make it personal. Strictly business.
I was trying to make my statement.
Yeah, you don't want her. You don't want Elaine. You don't want her. This is strictly business. This is town business. It's tax collections. It's not personal.
I didn't say it was personal, you're the one saying that.
No.
So Allie has been on the transition team, and I will say that transition team has spent a lot of time discussing the challenges and the options and the recourses that we have about what I consider to be a pretty big transition that's coming pretty quickly. So, and Allie has been an integral player of providing knowledge and for driving the conversation. So when she says that let's talk about other options, I think it's worth that discussion, and it has nothing to do with politics or personalities. It's about cost, it's about training, it's about
moving
effectiveness.
forward.
Yeah.
My only statement was going to be, could we set up a model where someone trained with Anita till town meeting during the tax collection time so that they could then assist the new person in the tax collection in May, because the tax collection doesn't start in earnest again until like the beginning of May. They start coming in slowly, then they come in really quickly by May 25th. So that was my statement. Could we use the model that we set up with the bank statements to see what's entailed and train up the new person, because we're going to have a new person. It's not going to be Anita and it's not going to be Elaine.
But you're saying from
We
now
don't
until
have
town
that
meeting.
person.
From now until town
We
meeting.
won't have that person until town meeting or until you
No, well,
post it.
can somebody like
Yeah, but it's not this one.
No, but can somebody do that? You know, I mean,
Train someone else to train the new
Who do you think that will be
person.
here in February willing to do this? Do you have somebody in mind?
I don't.
Okay. So then you're voting against having somebody?
I haven't made a vote yet. I haven't made a vote, I'm just asking for a conversation, that's what this portion of the motion is, it's about discussion. And I'm trying to discuss.
Can I just say something? So, I don't know much about the tax administration. I do see Anita and Elaine spend a fair amount of time answering questions. It's not just about receiving money. I noticed that they answer questions, they look at records, and I'm not saying that that's hard or difficult work. It may be something that's easy enough to pick up. My only concern is somebody doing one tax payment period. Like, let's say, I'm just using, I'm not volunteering, but let's say it's me who sits with Anita, and I'm trying to learn it and answer all the questions. And I would be nervous about me then being the person who's training the person because I'm so new at it.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern about that particular option.
Well, and if we have Anita do it from now until,
Does NEMRC have a tax collector?
no, they said.
Yeah, we talked about that.
They said
don't
they
do it.
wouldn't do that. But if we had Anita do it until May 25th or whenever they close, then she could in essence be training the new person.
I think that's, when she asks for a second person, that's how I view it, is
Right.
that she's working with somebody to get the job done, but to also train us.
Essentially, we have one tax collection for the rest of the fiscal year
After
after town meeting.
Right.
So this
So
is
whoever
just,
gets hired.
and
or
he is essentially
elected.
offering to do on-the-job training with the new person.
She never used the word training,
No,
but I think
but-
that would be part of
Yeah.
the deal.
I think
Warren has his
she-
hand up too.
Warren,
Hi, Warren.
Was there a way to help your thought, Allie, with your town clerk to at least pick up a little bit of assistance until you work through your town meeting day vote, whether you know which direction you're going? And could she be of assistance in this matter to help the town facilitate their needs?
I'm not sure that I can speak for her.
No. It's just a quick, has it been thought of?
Yeah.
I have no idea what her duties are.
Well, when I was elected as treasurer a million years ago, I came into an office that had a town clerk who was the assistant treasurer. So it was an easy transition because she knew the ropes and could kind of show me the way. But that's not the situation.
What I have seen of Alenka's involvement is she's able to pull up what somebody owes, from what I can tell, and then she takes the tax and she can give a receipt, but she doesn't do any inputting. So
I just didn't know if it was a buffer, like
Yeah.
a short-term buffer that you already have somebody that's in the town hall that knows people in certain aspects of it, and while that's not gonna be your full-time job, it would be an assistance to get you over the hump. That was just my point or suggestion, thought.
Maybe something with Anita, like a consultant rather than a long-term trainer or something like that.
I think it's a short period of time.
Right, it is really
I
just,
think there's something
Okay.
to the person that's currently doing it showing the next person.
yep.
Since there's so many unknowns about this transition, I'm leaning towards that being very helpful in any way that we can get it, even just to, when or these things are become moved on to the next, then it's like, here's where I keep the key. That's how I feel about it.
Okay, shall we call the motion? Any further discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor of asking Anita to stay on until the end of the tax collection this year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I'll oppose as well. So it's 3-2. Okay.
Okay, we are on our last one regarding the transition, and that,
God.
I know, last one. It was raised in our transition team meeting that what if the voters do not decide to change to a smaller treasurer position and a more robust bookkeeper.
The model we set up.
Right, we have put together a budget based on that structure, that change. And so, I think it may have been the moderator discussion where the moderator suggested that we may need numbers if the voters vote to retain the current structure, it's going to affect the budget. So what the transition team did is we put together a set of numbers for us to have if the voters vote to retain the current structure of a full-time treasurer position. In order to bring that to town meeting, I believe that it has to be approved by the select board because it's a budgetary matter.
But it may not come up at
It
town
may not
meeting.
come up.
I don't think it would need to be approved because that would just be an amendment to the general fund
I agree.
budget when we make it.
I agree.
That would be a
But
vote that
who's-
happens at town
Who's
meeting.
bringing the numbers?
I mean, we would have to,
We would have
Come
to have,
prepared,
we
but-
would have to come prepared with something like this, because we don't know what's gonna happen.
right, this isn't
Or
a
it
decision
could-
that we're making, this is a decision that the voters are making.
Well,
So we would come saying, you know, this is
with a set of numbers.
with a set of numbers. So I'm just
So
saying, I don't think we need to
who's-
motion and approve it,
Okay, but,
but.
I'm
it is-
just
Are
gonna
you-
ask the question, so.
Yeah,
so, but don't you think that the select board should have an agreement that this is the numbers that you're bringing?
I'm just saying, I don't think we need to motion it.
Well,
I
and somebody
have
could
seen
s-
the numbers.
Like, I mean, the transition team put together the numbers, but we're not the authority, we're not the body of authority.
Well, I think that could be said at the meeting then,
At town meeting.
that these are numbers. I mean, there were numbers thrown out last year that was sort of math on the fly and
Yep.
people decided whether or not they were reasonable numbers and that was that.
I think this is a little more detailed.
It is. It is. And
and it may never come up, or it may come up morphed in different ways. So I think giving firm numbers for something that just might happen is not necessary. I think we need to be prepared.
Well, yeah, I don't think that there's going to be, with 100 people at a town meeting, there's going to be a discussion about what the treasurer's budget should be. I think that is something that the select board, who approves the budgets that are being proposed, should come. For instance, are you going to offer a full-time treasurer medical and dental and eye? Well, that has a cost to it. I don't think 100 people in a town meeting are going to.
We already
I
did.
would disagree, because I think if the residents vote down the proposed structure, they're not gonna blindly say, let's still pay the proposed structure. Let's still pay the treasurer 5,000 and let's go with that budget. I think the residents would wanna discuss what is the new budget gonna look like then, since we voted this down.
Right, that's obviously, I agree with that, but
I think that it would have to be changed by an amendment,
Right.
and
We would have,
it will be the general public that's making the amendment for whatever dollar amount that they feel should be changed. You can certainly give them with, the calculations that you've come up with and suggest that as a reasonable amendment to be made. I don't think that it needs to come from the select board, because they've already proposed their budget.
I guess the
So
question, sorry.
bring the numbers.
Go ahead.
The question I would be curious to know is, you're proposing this new plan, and we currently have had a plan. And my question would simply be, is it saving us money? Are we getting as much service, and is it saving us money? If so, how much? That's the question I would
Good
be asking,
question.
right? We're not gonna deal with the exact numbers of the budgeting until the whole wheel gets kicked around enough times. So, but informationally, from a taxpayer perspective, I would appreciate, hey, our new proposed budget's gonna save you $10,000, and we're pretty damn sure we can get somebody in here and fill the shoes for less than $10,000, and everybody's gonna be happy. That's
could
the
we just
curve I would ask for.
describe what the plan B is without needing to vote on it? You can read that out and have that discussion here.
I don't know the answer to
The current, I mean, it's what you've prepared already, right?
Yeah, we have.
The current plan A is that 65,000 mark, with the treasurer salary split up and the bookkeeper, no benefits. The plan B would be going back to the original treasurer's salary of $35,000, including the benefits, and still including the same training costs and everything. $65,000 plan A, approximately $100,000 plan B. So that's currently what we're looking at.
I think that it's fundamentally the cost of benefits, right? And an
the
increased salary. Because a full-time treasurer would earn more than the new structure.
Right, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just 100, so.
Yeah.
No, if you're explaining yourself,
Yeah.
if you're explaining yourself, it's easier and sometimes less discussion, as we had at the moderator's thing, right? So if you're bringing the point and backing the point, you might help yourself and save a couple more hours in town meeting day, right? And you know, without it.
And our current structure could be passed right away and then there's no discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you sort of have to be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no vote on that, then that finishes that section. I think we've answered everything that needs to be answered. Unless anybody on the transition team sees that I'm missing anything.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next order of business is pre-town meeting. Last meeting, we said to have a pre-town meeting on the 19th or the 26th.
My last meeting, it was the special meeting with the moderator that we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know what people felt about picking a date.
Well, we do need to pick a date if we're going to have a pre-town meeting. So it's either the 19th or the 26th that's being offered.
I can't pick one because somebody took the calendar.
There's another one right there. It's just harder to see.
Yeah, I can't see that.
Make a motion to set 19th?
19th.
Yeah, make a motion to set pre-town meeting on February 19th at 6 p.m.
Second.
And what, anybody just want to clarify the day? I think, is that a Thursday?
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday at 6?
Yeah. It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that gives us
Before.
time to warn it.
Yep. Well, it is a week from this Thursday, but it's 2 weeks before town meeting, right?
Yeah.
For a week and a half.
Okay. So we don't need a motion or anything on that?
We have a motion.
Oh, we do?
Yes,
Okay.
and we have a second.
Okay, so all those in favor of the 19th at 6 p.m. for pre-town meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed?
Aye.
Okay. I'll go yay. So you got 4 yes, 1 no.
Is there a conflict that Steve has, or just?
I mean, why can't we do it on a Tuesday night? Why do we have to come twice?
In addition to a regular select board meeting?
Yes.
That's a valid question.
Because we have other town business we have to do on Tuesdays, and we've always had a night dedicated to pre-town meeting. That's my answer to your question.
I'm fine with it either way.
Thank you.
19th around the next select board
Well,
meeting.
I currently had a motion on the floor for the 19th at 6 p.m. and we had 4 yeses and 1 no. Do we want to go with that, or does somebody want to call the question and revisit it?
I don't know if Nick wants to amend his motion or.
The vote has already happened.
The vote has happened. I'm happy to stay with the vote.
Okay, so we've got 4 yes on the 19th and 1 no.
Right.
All
I'll
right.
blow the horn as they drive by.
I'll be thinking of it.
Green Mountain Power request to move telephone pole in front of the library. And I'm gonna turn this over to Ms. Katie.
All right, yes, I have my big paper. So Green Mountain Power came to us and said that they need to, or they would like an easement to move a telephone pole 26 feet from the center line of Route 30 onto Townsend Library property. I spoke to the library, showed them the information, and because we need, what they're looking for is an easement I think that this is town lawyer territory, but that's up to everybody. I've been corresponding with the woman from Green Mountain Power and happy to continue to do that. I had thought that we would have some more information for her after this meeting, but I did tell her that it may not be decided tonight.
I'd make a motion to give these Green Mountain Powers correspondence to our lawyer and have him vet it and get back to us with what he thinks.
Second.
Because if you read it, 26 feet is out of their right of way. Their right of way is 49 and a half total. So
that would be under
it's
25.
24.6.
We went through this with Taft Meadows a couple of years ago.
And there's a stake out there for anybody that might want to go see where it would be. So.
Okay, so basically, that's a motion that Rob made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of
Point of
contact?
clarity, I didn't second it, Nick seconded it.
Right,
We don't want somebody getting open meeting laws messed up.
no, we don't want that. And so all those in favor, discussions over of contacting the lawyer and revisiting?
Aye.
Aye. Everybody says aye. Okay. Leland and Gray use request for the Vermont Regional Drama Festival.
Make a motion to approve Leland and Gray's Town Hall use request for the Vermont Drama Regional Festival on Saturday, March 28th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Waive the fee and authorize Allie Evans on behalf of the board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, and Allie is,
I'll make a motion.
Allie Dercoli, you're asking for pickles.
I'd like to make a motion to accept Allie Dercoli or Finale Ferment's use of the town common on August 8th and just set up the sign on the day that hospital fare breaks down. Yep, she provided her insurance and I authorize Allie Evans to sign on behalf of the board.
Second.
Any discussion?
Setup breakdown times. Do you have that?
Set up for the day of.
Yes.
Usually I get out there around 7 and just try to get the tent set up. And then breakdown is usually like the day of as well. Try and get everything off the green the day of, on and off. Yeah. What time works for you?
That's just something we need to know, so we know.
Would it be, I'd say like at the latest 8 p.m.?
So 7 to 8.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a question about the sign, like where is it going to be placed? Because I know last year there was some controversy about where the sign was placed. So I'm just curious as to where that's going to be, what the plan is.
I would love a suggestion for what works for the town.
Last year you put it on the school's lawn and that seemed to work well.
They like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a banner?
I've had issues with like crappy plastic banners that I've gotten that kind of rip.
Yeah.
The one that is like a painted sign, but that one seems to be not get blown over as easily. So I probably won't use the hospital fair like guideline.
Yeah.
Just because it's,
Unless you find something that won't rip. Yeah.
Unless I find something that won't rip.
So pretty much you'll be on the high school lawn unless you come to us and talk about something else.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a nice little tree that it makes it stable.
Good. Okay. So we have a motion on the floor and shall we have a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And then we have Friends of Town Hall use request for a Beautiful Life historical presentation.
I'm here on the phone. I think I may have seen Charlie. I guess Charlie didn't trust me.
I make a motion to approve Cory Ciklin's Friends of the Town Hall use request for a beautiful fake historical presentation on Thursday, May 21st at 7 p.m. And to waive the fee and authorize Allie Evans to sign on behalf of the board.
And the insurance too is an issue, Nick.
Do we have a second to discuss?
I'll give a second and then we can have discussion.
We've got, just so we're clear, there's two issues. It's to actually put on the program and then waiving, of course, the fee. And then the third thing, the insurance. Do you want us to get our own insurance, or should that be included under the town's policy?
No, you need to get your own insurance.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we do. Charlie's there. Charlie, anything you want to say?
Charlie?
If the Townshend Historical Society is part of this request, why do we have to have a separate insurance policy?
I think that the Historical Society moved and voted to support the project. I don't think that we are we are, as the Historical Society, we're supporting it, but we are not ourselves putting it on.
That is my interpretation. The request is coming from a different group than the Historical Society, regardless of Historical Society's participation.
Correct.
I would say put the request in from the Historical Society, and then there you go. But as the request is right now, I would just follow that.
Yeah, if you look at the flyer, you'll see that the Historical Society has top billing on this. But whatever, we'll do it. If you don't want to cover us, we can handle that.
Well, I'm a little confused in that,
No, go ahead, Charlie. There's somebody behind you that'll go after you.
we did discuss this in a meeting, and perhaps Helen and I are not, Allie, Katie?
I'm not talking about it because I'm,
No, I mean, in terms of taking the minutes for the meeting,
right.
did we vote to, I don't remember how it was worded. I got the impression
I gave the
we were
minutes.
sort of partners.
I gave the minutes to Helen.
Right, the handwritten one, it says motion to support this project. And that was voted on.
And that was approved, right?
That was,
Yeah.
to support it, right.
And I'm part of the presentation as the president of the Historical Society. And as a resident of the town, the Historical Society does a lot for this town. I'm requesting that this insurance issue be dealt with through the town and not through the Friends.
I would just make the request to modify the town hall use request. That's just my position as an individual on this board.
What does it say on the,
It says the name and address of the organization, event supervisor individual, is the Friends of the Town Hall, Cory Ciklin.
it doesn't say anything about the Historical
It says it's a
Society?
joint presentation.
It says it's a
Society,
historical
but the
presentation.
organization-
No, I mean, in the I have not seen the application.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. It says the name, address of organization, event supervisor individuals, Cory Ciklin, Friends of Townsend Town Hall. And then there is a little asterisk that
This is
says,
Cory
hold on,
Ciklin,
Cory,
so I can tell
hold
you
on, Cory, I'm still
exactly.
speaking.
This is Cory Ciklin. So I can tell you, just read down the margin and you'll see that I wrote in the Historical Society as well. It's right there.
I'm reading it out
This
loud.
is a joint presentation. But that's okay. We can pay for it if you guys don't want to do it. Not a big deal. It's a joint presentation and they have top billing.
Cory, may I finish what I'm saying? Thank you. All it says is that it's a joint presentation with the Historical Society. So as I'm reading it, the request is coming from the Friends of the Town Hall. So all I am suggesting is if you want to go through the Historical Society's liability insurance, I would just suggest resubmitting the request.
Say that again?
I would just suggest resubmitting the request on behalf of the Historical Society as opposed to on behalf of the Friends of the Town Hall. That is my only position here, again, as an individual on this board. because of the way that the
I'm
request is
reading
put in.
this right here, and it says a joint presentation
Correct.
with the Historical Society. That to me means we're on this together.
Okay. It's a difference of how we're reading the form.
It says
That's
the
all.
name and address of the organization, and it's the Friends of Town Hall. I think what Nick's saying is just, we have time, we can resubmit a form.
Right. We're 2.5 months out from it. So 3.5 months out from it.
Right, we have a meeting on Monday.
So let's just resubmit the form.
Yeah, that's all.
That's what we're
It's just
saying.
resubmit the form or pay for your own insurance if you just don't want to do that.
And
That's
change,
fine.
change the address from.
Now, I look at it differently.
Yep.
We're providing a service for the town of Townsend,
Yep.
and this town should be providing the insurance to use this building for just about anything that the citizens of town want to do that's not for profit. It's simple as that. So I'm not in favor of every organization having to provide insurance for something the town can easily do for the use of a public building used by the people who are the public and tax-paying members of the community. And it's not for profit. So we'll submit a request after our meeting on Monday if the board agrees to do it. And we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll let you guys decide that, because if you want us to get insurance, we'll do it. But I just tell me what to get, whether to get the insurance or not. We'll have $1 million of coverage like we did for the August 1st event with no problem.
Thank you.
So I would just ask, do we want to table this or do you want to just let this fail and readdress whenever it comes back up?
I would like.
I'd rather table.
I think you ought to just vote on it, quite frankly.
Nick, what do you think?
I make a motion, or I want to amend my motion to table this discussion until we hear back from Historical Society.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it.
I'm abstaining because I'm the secretary of the Historical Society. I don't think it's appropriate for me to add to the conversation.
I'll just have to vocalize it so I can hear it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't forget, I have the website launch to talk about as well, and two other matters.
Agenda right in front of us, Cory. We have an agenda right in front of us. Cory Ciklin, request to launch town website at town meeting.
Let me just get my notes here.
Would you like to recognize them to speak?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, as you guys know, this has been like nearly 2 years in the making, and we started with Rick's unofficial classic, and we've now evolved into something modern and reliable and ready to launch. As the people on the website committee know, we have threaded a lot of needles over the last year and a half. We formed a committee. We did the request for proposals, a lot of meetings. We got select board approval along the way. Made sure we got Rick's input. And after today's training, which was, I think, as Connie will attest, really very cool. I think we're all really psyched and ready to turn the key and officially launch this thing. It was really a true team effort. And I think most of you have seen the prototype that EcoPixel did a few weeks ago. That's been circulating around. So we're ready to go. But the question is now, two questions. One, do you want to have any kind of official launch at town meeting, or just let's do this electronically? I think it's cheaper to do it electronically, and that's probably the way to go. And then secondly, do you want Pam Corbett and I to be the co-Rick-Heggies, the co-coordinators, just to make sure that everything looks good from a 30,000 foot level, and make sure that we keep things going and clear, and our team, Pam and I as coordinators, we would be limited to a 30,000 foot oversight of this, of the website's functionality, its organization, any kind of emergency stuff. So the question is, and Pam and I have talked about this, we would agree to do it for a year interim, just to be the coordinators, just to make sure that Connie and Alenka and those that have to post, all the organizations in town, to make sure that they're posted, they're being able to post when they need to, like the planning commission. They were all involved today with the final training we had. So it was pretty neat. So I just need to know if you guys want to do the electronic splash, and if you want Pam and I to do this interim thing for a year.
So do I hear a motion to launch the town website at town meeting, and then if we have a motion on the floor, we can discuss.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, so discussion.
I would say this is a lot of additional stuff in a jam-packed day for town meeting. So I would personally not want to see it there, but Connie's hand up.
I just want to give a point of information. The people that will be involved in posting and entering things into the website met today with EcoPixel to discuss, to do a training. In that discussion at the end, there was a discussion amongst the group about launching it prior to town meeting, and that it doesn't take much to launch it. Cory, correct me if I'm wrong, but what it takes to launch it, I mean, it's pretty much ready to go. What it takes to launch it is to get the appropriate documents uploaded that are pertinent to the open meeting laws. And then to have, EcoPixel has said they just want final approval, and I'm assuming final approval comes from the select board as the authority over this. But it's ready to go, right? Cory can correct me, but it's pretty much ready to go.
It is. This is ready to launch, as they say. People are going to be wowed.
Yeah, it's a wonderful website. It appears to be user-friendly. Cory did a great job working with EcoPixel on that. I know personally, as the select board assistant, I would rather get it up and running sooner rather than later, because I fear that I'm concerned about falling farther and farther behind on posting, because right now we have no ability to post.
Right.
I will agree with Nick about trying to do a splashy thing at town meeting. You guys already have a lot of stuff going on, and I think we could do just as cool of a launch electronically and tell people, look, check it out. We're live now, and so I agree with you, Nick.
Well, and the other thing is that we already have a warning for town meeting, and the only place for it would be at the very end of the day for non-binding business, and most everybody's asleep by then.
Well, I figured that when the representatives and senators show up, we usually let them go before lunch, so I thought we could do it then. But again, I think Nick's right. Let's just do it electronically.
You ready to call the question on this motion?
Yeah, let's call the question. So, we are saying no to town meeting.
We have to take a
Get
vote.
the vote.
Yeah, that's what I'm restating what the,
That's
No,
your
it's a positive
position.
motion. It's a positive motion.
The motion is
should we have
to
it at town
launch it
meeting?
at town meeting.
So, okay. So,
We're going to announce it at town meeting, but we're not going to do a demonstration.
Shall we take the vote?
Yes.
all those in favor of launching the website at town meeting, say aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so then we move on to,
We have to do the thing about the coordinators too, if you would. Pam and Cory agree to do it for an interim website coordinators for up to 1 year. And then
That is not what is on the agenda. The agenda is to request to launch the town website at town meeting. What you're asking for is an appointed position as a webmaster that we would have to advertise that we're going to be doing that, which...
Okay, well, I think you should vote no then, Nick, and take over.
I do, So we've been instructed by VLCT to be very concerned about topics that have not been warned for the public. So that is the one concern about adding what could be a substantive conversation about who supervises or oversees the website may be more appropriate for the next select board meeting, where there's a chance to warn it to the public to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, and this, just so you guys know, this is not this is not like Rick Heggie got approval from the town. You're just doing this administratively so we can get this thing launched. We're volunteering our time here. We are nothing but town volunteers helping you guys out. So, and Pam knows what she's doing. I'm not so sure about me, but Pam knows what she's doing. And we've worked with this company, and this is really just our offer to you guys. You know.
Thank you.
If I can just add to what Cory's saying, again, it may be a larger discussion as to the ongoing supervision of the website, but there is an issue about EcoPixel has specifically said that they need approval to flip the switch. So there has to be some approval, what that encompasses. I just want to put out to the board that if we're going to try to launch this next week, so we have it available to us, there is a decision as to approving it.
And you have to, along the lines there, you have to, just like Rick Heggie, you have to have a coordinator. You have to have that.
Yep.
We're done with this.
This is a meeting of select board. We're discussing right now. I think this will be a vote that we have to take at the next meeting.
Which means we are not launching the website
until potentially the
24th.
You guys think about what you're doing. That's not smart.
Good night, Cory.
It may be worth a special meeting, I don't know, but.
We could call a special meeting.
So the vote is that there is no coordinator. So could you designate though somebody to coordinate this so we can launch?
That would be an appointed position. That is not something we can do tonight because that is not something that was warned for this meeting. That is something, as Connie has said a few times now, is going to be a substantial discussion. And I'm sure there are plenty of folks in town who would have something to say if they knew that that was going to be discussed tonight. For that reason,
Would you please, Connie, tell you that I sent you this 2 weeks ago?
We're done with this.
So I just want to clarify, Cory, I
sent you this agenda item 2 weeks ago.
To launch at the town meeting.
Right. Not to appoint Leland Pam as the website coordinators tonight.
Okay, boys, man, all right.
Cory, if there is a request to designate coordinators, I don't see that, and I apologize if that was missed. I don't see that in the email.
Well, I have an idea. Designate Allie, and I'll work with her to do it. How about that?
No,
I think we have spoken on.
We're done with this for tonight.
You don't want to.
There are certain procedures according to Vermont open meeting law that we have to follow, and for that reason,
Right, and that's what he explained to us today. He gave us the how-tos on this.
Okay.
Okay, so therefore we'll have it on the agenda for next meeting.
Or we can.
Call a special meeting.
We can call a special meeting.
But we're not going to do that right now.
Another special.
Could you vote on that? So the vote is to.
There is no motion on the table. There's nothing to vote on, Cory.
No, the vote. My request is that you appoint us as the coordinator so we can move forward.
The select board does not make a motion on the table.
Speak, right? If
Yes.
you have a button on Zoom,
Yep.
then use it.
Yep.
And then you can clarify what you're doing, and we can continue.
I'm not sure I absorbed what you said, I'm
You
sorry.
have a mute button. If you're
Oh.
being.
Shut them off.
Okay,
You can then announce what you need to announce,
and then,
and you can move on from there.
I think that, I do think that the select board is receiving the request from Cory about designating someone to coordinate and supervise a website.
Right.
So we have that request. I don't want us to lose that.
Right.
okay.
So what do you need from me to do? Anything?
No, it'll be on the
At this
next,
moment.
it'll be on the next meeting
Or there'll
agenda.
be a
What
special
do you want me
meeting.
to do at the next meeting?
How about if we, once the select board decides when to have this discussion, we can reach out to Cory about the discussion about what that entails.
Okay, so then Connie, I'm gonna let you take it from here and just announce that we're on hold until further notice. And I'm out of that.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Cory.
Okay, right now, we're going to have an executive session, as per.
I have the Europa IT report, Allie, to give you.
It's
not on the
not
agenda.
on the agenda.
I gave it to Connie 2 weeks ago.
Okay, it didn't make it to the agenda. We apologize if it didn't make it on.
Okay, well, then I guess we'll just forget about that.
We can revisit it.
Would you like?
But it's costing you 15 grand a year, by the way. That's what we were gonna address. So that money is just sweeping out the door, but okay.
Mute.
Cory, do you want us to put that on the next agenda?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
You guys, you're in charge of that.
All right, executive session per Vermont Statute 1 VSA 313, paren 1E. And we go into executive session, you folks vacate, you can wait and come back in when we're done, or we can say goodnight now.
So moved.
So, thank you for coming, Ross and Kat.
So,
Did we have a vote to go into executive?
Warren, tell me if it's still snowing out.
All those in favor? of
Aye.
going-
Aye.
did you invite Mr.
I make a motion to authorize, should I make a motion to authorize Katie and I to speak with a lawyer about legal concerns?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. And
Motion to adjourn.
okay,
Second.
Aye.
all those in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.